Okay, let's start. Okay, hi everyone who's watching. We're gonna start with the webinar, and it's gonna be in English because I'll be doing it, and I'm not from Poland, but I've been working with this organization for 4 years now, so I have quite a lot of experience in working with universities and students. And I will give you kind of an overview of education abroad. Mainly we'll cover 3 countries and how it works there. So if you'll have any questions, you can actually leave some messages in the chat. Should be on your right side. I'm not sure, I'm gonna double check it. Where it is. And then either me or my colleague, we will answer. If we're not managing to answer during the webinar, we will always answer, after I finish. Also, you'll see our contact details, so you can contact us at any moment. Okay, so let's start. The most difficult part is to... Okay, I made a tiny mistake by opening the video on YouTube, but yes, the messages will be on the right. Okay, now, so I'm struggling a little bit with the screen saving. Not screen saving, sorry, sharing. Okay, start screen share. Unfortunately, it will not share like on full screen because I'm not sure, honestly, but this will work. So yes, we're from the Student Financial Support Fund, and my name is Anastasia. I personally studied in UK, London, so you can trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I lived there for about 6 years, and I've traveled a lot, and I've met a lot of people from different places, plus I have a lot of friends who studied in other countries. Okay, so first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about our organization. So we were established in 2005, and our main goal was to motivate students to go study abroad. So we help them, with everything, but also we provide a scholarship for motivated students. And we basically need to see your personal statement. That is something you will have to write. And you send it to us. It goes to the department that deals with the scholarships. So those people don't actually work with students. So they don't meet anyone, they don't consult anyone. So they're not biased. And you have an opportunity to get a scholarship. And the scholarship means that you get the money, you don't have to pay it back to us. And you can spend it basically on whatever you want, whatever you feel you need. It can be, bed sheets, some food. Maybe you want to pay for a deposit for a flat, or you just want to go and, have a nice coffee and enjoy yourself. So there are 3, let's say, scholarships, but you can only get one. So when you apply, you will state if you're applying for bachelor or master's, but that doesn't really play a role here. The role that does actually has a role is that this have to be your first year of studies. So first time going to bachelor's, first time going to master's, and you apply for the scholarship before you actually go to university. And yeah, the amount you can get depends on how many people apply each year and how much kind of financial support we get. But usually everyone gets a scholarship. So far, everyone has got one. Okay, so what do we actually do? So besides scholarships, we also provide consultations. They're completely free of charge because we are a non-profit organization. During the consultation, we can help you to find a course that you might be interested in. We can help you to find a university, maybe in the location that you're looking for. Or if you have any specifications, so for example, maybe you're not interested in doing a language certificate, there are universities that will accept Polish matura. extended English Polish matura, and they usually specify how much they want. So I think it's usually around 70% overall from the English matura, and they will specify how much in oral or written part. In this presentation, when I'll be saying Polish matura, I mean like the matura that is done in Poland, because other countries have also examinations that they call matura. So yeah, when I say Polish matura, I don't mean the subject, I mean the country exam, more related to the country. So as I said, the consultations are free of charge, and we also work with American universities, but European universities have been a lot more popular. You can come for a free consultation anytime you're in Warsaw, or it can be by Skype or by phone. You just have to, let's say, schedule it in advance with us, because we do have a schedule that we keep of all the consultations, and sometimes we're very busy, sometimes we have more time. But we're always welcome to chat. Consultation is usually about an hour. So we can help you with finding the right university, finding the right course, finding the course that you can get into, helping you with writing personal statements. So usually we just check them. We kind of give advice what to change, and not from the grammar point of view, but more on the content, because personal statements are very important when you apply to institutions abroad. Writing recommendation letters, even though we don't actually write them, but we do give like guidelines that you can give to your teacher or any professor, so it'll be easier for them to write. We help with any financial issues, as in we explain how to get any kind of support. We show you different options. There's our scholarship. We even explain how job hunting works in those countries, so you will be prepared when you move there. And obviously any other questions that you might have, even if it's like tax related or I don't know, health related, we can always help you. Besides me, most of our staff has studied abroad or they've lived abroad for some time, so everyone is speaking from their own experience. So yes, let's continue. So why study abroad? Well, one of the main reasons people kind of say is usually they want to improve their language skills. Usually it's English, because I would say majority of us learns English as a second language. Plus, especially in England, you have an opportunity to study some languages completely free of charge. So that means your university will offer you free language courses. The same thing is in Denmark and Netherlands, but the language option is a lot more limited. Multicultural environment, which is quite important because it helps you adapt to new situations and be more open-minded, because you will be studying and working with people from different backgrounds and different views on everything. So this usually kind of stands out on your CV a lot, and future employers do like that a lot, because they know that you will become part of the team quite quickly, and you won't have any issues working in a new environment. Opportunity to travel means that usually from countries like UK and Netherlands, it's a lot cheaper to travel all over Europe, or even other places on Earth, like America, Asia. And in my personal experience, I even found a ticket for £5 to Spain one way. So there are a lot of opportunities. The experience that you can gain, it's not only the educational part, but it's also living on your own without parents, actually kind of finding new friends, adapting. But also a lot of the courses in other countries, they have work experience part of their course. So that means when you're gonna graduate, you already will have some experience. So when you're gonna go into a job interview, that after university, that will not be your first work interview or a job, especially in that field. The choice of specialities, especially in UK, that is mostly about UK, they have a lot of different specialities, different courses, so there's something for everyone. If you like sports, there are sports management courses, which means you don't actually have to, do sports, but you could manage a team or events related to sports or arena. People who are interested in fashion, there's fashion marketing, trend forecasting, fashion illustration. People who are interested in business, there's also different things about business that you can study, like human resource, business administration, business management, business law, a lot of different things. So different things, and if you think there's no subject for you, there probably is one, and you just have to get in touch with us and kind of tell us what you're interested in so we can find something according to that. And of course, international qualification, your diploma will be recognized all over the world, so no matter where you go, you'll find a job. And as you can see, UK is the most popular country. A lot of students go there each year. And even though we all hear Brexit, that word, quite often, you should not be worried about that because nothing will happen for at least another 2-3 years. That means the student that will apply the next 2-3 years, their conditions will be the same as the students who applied before all of this. So you should not worry about that. And the second country that is quite popular is Netherlands, mainly because it's one of the cheapest in terms of education in Europe. Plus, they have quite a few courses in English, and they were the first non-English country to introduce English higher education. And Denmark is completely free of charge, but I also would like to mention that the living costs there are a lot higher. This is something you should remember when you're thinking about Denmark. And yeah, Denmark has even fewer courses in English than Netherlands. In both countries, Netherlands and Denmark, the courses that are in English are the ones that they kind of need in their economy and in their, let's say, country. So a lot of them are business related, multi-design, IT, hospitality. And I know that hospitality studies are not as popular in Poland, but in a lot of other countries, tourism is a very big part of their economy. So they need people who can work in that field, who love to travel, and who want to, live in different places. So now I'm going to show you a couple of universities that we actually work with. I'm going to do it this way because it's easier then. We are affiliated more than these. We have quite a few partners in UK, more than 30 or 40. We have some in Netherlands, not sure, I think about 10. And we are the only organization in Poland to actually represent Dutch universities. And also Danish universities, so Denmark, we work with America, Estonia, some universities, I think, in Germany and Spain, but mostly we focus on UK, Netherlands, and Denmark. Also, if anyone interested, the deadline for Denmark is very soon. I will mention that later. So UK. So if you guys are interested in bachelor is from 3 to 4 years. If you're going to do a 4-year bachelor, it will be called a sandwich course, which means 1 year, so that will be the 3rd year out of the 4 years. You will spend either studying abroad or you're going to be doing an internship, so like work placement. A lot of students actually choose that because, you will get a year of experience in the field that you're studying, so after graduation it's easier to find a job, plus you're going to already have some contacts in that field. Another great opportunity is to have a joint degree. So this is for those people who are not quite sure what they want to study, or they're kind of, they want to do, let's say, illustration and animation, for example. So that will allow you to study 2 courses, and it's not like you're studying 2 full courses so you have even less time. The course will be constructed that way that, yeah, maybe you will study a little bit more, a little bit longer, but it won't be as noticeable. So you'll still have time to get a part-time job and do your work and, hang out with friends. Another thing is that the studies are quite flexible. For example, I had to go to university 3 times per week. I had lectures in the morning from like 9 to 12. After that, we had a break and we had seminars in our groups where we had to discuss different topics that we covered in this lecture. We also had group projects, independent research projects, essays, meetings with teachers, field work. There were a lot of things we had to do, but we were not exactly at the university, so you would arrange your own free time to do that. So for example, if I knew I had to write an essay, I would go to the library, I would contact some companies because I needed, let's say some references, or I needed some extra information to prove my point in my essay. Or I will go and, do some research, ask people questions on the street. So basically, you're doing quite a lot, and this also teaches you time management, which honestly is very, very important, but also sort of independence. And yeah, as I said, and you can see a lot of independent homework. So anyone who's interested in masters, in UK, masters is 1 year full-time. There are only a few courses that are 2 years. Usually 2 years means part-time. The start is September or January, so you can start any of those times. Even for bachelors, sometimes they have the January courses, but this is mostly popular for masters. For masters, the application will be direct, and I will explain a little bit like how it works. Again, you have a wide choice of courses, and the best part is that you don't need to have studied it before. Obviously, if you're going to choose something like chemistry or very specific, I don't know, biomedicine, well, yes, you cannot go from accounting to biomedicine. But for example, if I studied media and communication, I can now go do marketing or international relations. And basically, they will ask me to have a grade in bachelor's. So usually it's like in Polish, let's say grades that will be like 4 or 4 plus. And then also I can show them my experience, which can benefit me in terms of getting on the course. So in this case, the experience counts a lot. In other countries, when I'm going to speak about Netherlands and Denmark, I'm not actually going to cover masters, but if you have any questions, you can email us. And yeah, so in those countries, the experience doesn't actually count. So you need to have specific grades, and you have to have studied that subject before. So you need to have some modules. So for anyone who kind of wants to maybe change a little bit their course of their studies, UK would be the best place. And also the student loan is available to master's students as well. For both masters and bachelors, it is from the government, and I will explain how it works. So applying for bachelors, the deadline, the first one was 15th of January, second one will be 30th of June. So you still have time, but the earlier you apply, the better, because then you can start looking for places to live. And I know that a lot of you are now preparing for your matura exams, but honestly, this does not take that long to apply, as we're here to help, so we do take a lot of the stress away from you guys. It's an online application. It's done through an online system. We will need your personal statement, and that is like let's call it an essay where you talk about yourself and you write it. So you have to show, tell them why do you want to study this course, why do you want to move to England, let's say, what have we done in the past, that has inspired you to pursue this kind of career path or educational path, and just basically show yourself as kind of interesting person who likes more than one thing, and who has experience in some things, who has maybe traveled. So honestly, it can be anything. We even do special consultations for this, where we can give you examples. I sometimes show my own personal statements, and I got in all my 5 choices. And yes, you have 5 choices when you apply for bachelor's. So that means you can have 5 courses. Usually that's what people do. They do have 5 different universities and similar courses, because you only have 1 personal statement, which means you can't put in 2 subjects in it, like biology and dance. And the personal statement does have a limitation, so it's 4,000 characters with space. Also, you'll need a teacher's recommendation, so your teacher from school. Usually we advise to ask your English teacher, but if you want to ask your Polish teacher or art teacher, do that and we can translate for you. Yeah, and ask it from them, and it's basically them recommending you, but showing you from more academic side, because they see you at school. And they also have like limitations in terms of characters, but usually teachers don't write as much. And again, language test, you usually do need a language test. IELTS is the most popular, but you know, TOEFL, CEA, CAE, they're all accepted. Some universities have their own language tests, which are either free of charge or they cost like £40. And some of them even take English Matura extended level. So basically anything you kind of have in mind, so let's say you don't want to spend money on IELTS, you want to do your English Matura, and you know you're going to get like, let's say 90%. Do that and we can find universities where you can get in. And when you actually do the application, first of all, you need your personal statement, you need your reference letter, you need your predicted grades. So that means you kind of make an assumption of what grades you're going to get, but you need to be quite realistic. And that's it. And it goes to the university. They give you a conditional answer, which means meet the conditions. And then when you get your results, you have to translate them, and we can help you with that. And then they go straight to university, and you get your unconditional replies. So that means you're in, you don't have to meet any conditions. For masters, again, direct application, as I said before, that means it goes directly to the university, not through a system. You need a personal statement. It needs to be a bit longer than for bachelors. 2 reference letters from your teachers, as in lecturers from university. Obviously, for example, if you did some sort of experience in the field and you want to put that in as well, it can be 1 teacher, 1 experience letter. English language certificates, usually it is asked for. And for example, if it's IELTS, it will be 6.5 in most cases. You'll need your university diploma, so for bachelors. And you might have an interview. The same with bachelors, you might have an interview, I would say 95% that you will. And depending on what course you're applying, both bachelor and masters, you might need a portfolio. So that is something that you also need to keep in mind, because if you do need a portfolio, you do need to have it about 95% ready before you send your application, because after they get the application, they give you about 14 or 10 days to send the portfolio. And you can't really make a good portfolio in 10 or 14 days. So bachelor student loan in UK, the way it works. At the moment, the fees are either 9,000, but majority universities is 9,250 per year. So the loan that you will take will be from the British government. It's not from a bank. It's not basically from a kind of institution within the government. It is from the government. That means the terms and the conditions, they will not change. They will pretty much stay the same always. And so the loan is maximum for 4 years, which means if you're going to be doing a sandwich year, your studies will be covered. Or for example, if you're going to repeat a year, your studies will be covered. At the moment, there are 3 universities that do not take any payment for your sandwich year. That is Coventry University, Middlesex University, and Essex University. The rest of them, they take like a very small fee, like 1,000 or a little bit less. And so after you study for, let's say, 3-4 years, and also this is for your first higher education. So if you already have 1 bachelor's, you cannot apply for this anymore. But if you just started your bachelor's and you want to change, you can still do that, and you can apply for this loan. So after you graduate, you have 2 years to get a job, you know, travel, and do whatever you want to do. And after 2 years from the day of your graduation, kind of the payment or the payment start date starts. So you need to earn more than £21,000 per year to even be considered to start paying it back. If you earn less, you pay nothing. And so the way you're going to pay back, you're going to pay 9% difference from anything that is above £21,000. So if you earn £25,000, then the difference between 21 and 25 is, well, 4,000, as you can see on your screen. And you take the 9% difference from that, which is 360 per year, and divide that by 12, and that'll be like roughly £30. Maybe some of you have been to England and you've noticed that this is not a very big amount there. So you will not really be noticing this going out of your bank account every month. The loan is for 30 years. If you do not pay it back in 30 years, it will be kind of cancelled, deleted, I don't know, removed, so it will not exist after 30 years. If your payment, like your salary, at any point gets lower than £21,000, your payment stops as well. So, you know, anything happens, you don't have to pay it if you don't have a job or you're in between jobs. And even if you pay only like, I don't know, £100, it will still be cancelled after 30 years. And it's a very convenient loan. So for example, if you will want to, you know, go to a bank to get a loan to get a car, a flat, anything, you can do that. This does not show up anywhere. The only way people can know about this is if you tell them, and if you tell them, honestly, no one really cares. From my personal experience, I have it because, well, honestly, I would not be able to study without it. And most of my classmates had it, even the people who are from, let's say, a little bit more wealthier families. Basically, yeah, everyone had it, and none of us feel any worse because of that. Let's move on. So master's loan works kind of in a similar way because, again, it's from the British government, which means doesn't show up anywhere. It cannot, the rules cannot change it for like just any moment. But the difference is, with the bachelor loan, the payment goes directly to the university, and just each year you will need to confirm that you're still at the university. With masters, the money goes to you, and you have to pay the university. And so the maximum they can give you is £10,000. And the master courses, the price depends on the university, the location of it, basically anything. So let's say your course is 5,000. You can still take out the full amount, the full 10,000, and then use the rest of it to pay for your flat or to support yourself. So yeah, it's a very convenient loan. The payment back method works exactly the same way as bachelor's. So you have 30 years, you pay the 9% difference. And yeah, so it's the previous slide. And I mean, you can go back in the video after to see this. And yeah, you start paying back only after you earn £21,000. And this is for full-time and part-time and distance learning courses. And so yeah, for students aged under 60, so if you have a younger grandmother, you can take her with you to study. So life in the UK, for bachelors, for example, you can do Erasmus, and I usually recommend doing it there because you get more financial support. If you do it from a more, let's say, Eastern European country, you get, I know for a fact in Poland, you get like €400 per month. And that's not that much money to go to, west part of Europe or like Scandinavia. So they usually, Polish Erasmus students go to countries like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Yeah, pretty much that's where I've seen a lot of them. But the thing is, it's not like the culture is that much different. So you're just going to a place that's even colder and is very similar to your home. So I would recommend doing the Erasmus program from England. There's a lot of student societies, like student unions are a very big thing in England. There's sports clubs, so if you're into any sports, you can go play. As a student, you get a very big and generous discount at the gyms at the university. They have their own gyms, and actually, they're very good. You can study languages for free. There are different societies. I know for a fact, University of Essex, they have a pizza eating society. So you meet up with people once a week and you eat pizza. There are Quidditch societies, so that's a game from Harry Potter. There are, fashion societies, baking societies, whatever societies. And if the society does not exist at the university, you can create your own. And yeah, I already mentioned that great sport and free time options. Honestly, like their sport facilities are amazing, and you pay like £100 per year. And I don't think you can get that deal anywhere, like in Europe at least. Work opportunities. So you will have a chance to get a part-time job. Some people even manage to have a full-time job, depending on the studies. So you will be able to support yourself, or at least, partially support yourself. The university will help you to get a job. They have job centers and or career centers. Every university calls them a bit differently. And they have adverts for part-time jobs, full-time jobs, graduate jobs, internships, basically anything. Your university will also help you to get your work experience. So obviously they're not gonna just give it to you on a silver plate. They will give you all the details, all the contacts, but you will have to email those people, call those people. But they will even prepare you for interviews. They will prepare you for basically everything. So you should not be worried, for example, if you don't have any experience at the moment. And yeah, the support from universities are amazing in UK. Like literally any problem you have, they can help you with that. If you need to find a doctor in your area and you're not from England, they can explain to you how it works, how to search for it, or even find it for you. Some universities have their own doctors on campus, some don't, depending on the structure of the university. I don't even know. There's like different events. There's like tours in the city. There are games and like markets and festivals at university. So honestly, I don't think there's ever a dull moment there. So living costs. Well, living costs will depend a lot on your budget in UK, because you can live on a very low budget and a very big budget, and even in London, which honestly will be the most expensive place to live, you can live on a very small budget as well, but most people don't want to. And so if you want to live in halls of residence, which I usually recommend doing in your first year, because then it's easier to meet people from your university, different courses. The cheapest I've seen was £79. That was University of Essex. The most expensive one, which was still a university halls of residence, was £250. But there are private halls of residence, and they can go up as £500 per month. So yes, and the reason I also recommend that is not only meeting friends, but also all your bills are included. So, water, electricity, Wi-Fi, you have security, because it's not like anyone just can get into the building. Same thing for masters. They have separate halls of residence, so only master students live there. And because it is only 1 year, I think it's a very good option. You don't have to kind of deal with finding a flat, like contracts, landlords. You just go, you study. If you enjoy living in that country, you can stay and then kind of start dealing with all the kind of everyday hassle. Private residence, you can rent a room, you can rent a whole house with your friends. If you rent a room, usually bills are included. If you rent a house, then you have to divide the bills between the tenants. But it can be cheaper. Again, it depends where you're going to live. But sometimes it can be more expensive, because if you live with people you're not familiar with, some of them might, leave the lights on or leave the water running, so you never know. But I think it's a good option for second and third year, or if you have already kind of connections in UK. Public transport, honestly, price is very different. So for example, in Essex, from the train station to the university, it was £1. In Derby, from the train station to university was £1.70. And in terms of walking distance, I think Derby University was closer. It took me like half an hour to walk there. Well, at Essex, it was around half an hour, but I kind of like the walk in Derby more. So yeah, train, the prices depend when you're going to travel, where you're going to travel, and how in advance you're going to buy the tickets. Because obviously, even on a train, you can get tickets for like over £100, but you can get them less than 20, depending, maybe you have a student discount. London Underground is about £2.20 a single fare. But as a student, you would get the monthly card, and because you will be a student, you will have the discount, which honestly you might not appreciate it as a student. But after I finished my studies and I saw the actual price, it was scary. It was the difference was quite big in my opinion. So an average price for coffee is around £2. This is just to give you an example of, let's say coffee prices in Poland, coffee prices in England. I think they're pretty similar. And the cheapest city for students is Portsmouth. And honestly, it's a very lovely city. I visited it. It's next to the sea. It's quite peaceful, but busy at the same time. So I think that's nice because you can go and enjoy the city life, but at the same time, if you kind of feel overwhelmed, you can go and to the sea, have a walk, just hang out with your friends somewhere, or go visit some local places. Okay, so an example that I will give you of a university, and I'm not really going to give too many examples, just to show you. Bournemouth University, it's in England, it's in a town called Bournemouth. It has 17,000 students, so it's not the biggest, but it's not the smallest. And they are very famous for their animation courses, anything to do with image, honestly, photography, animation, film studies. A lot of their students worked on very big, famous movies, and their students even won Oscars. So I will show you some movies. It's a very lovely city, and they're also very good at tourism because this is a very popular touristic destination in England. It's like a resort city. A lot of jobs for students because it is kind of a university city, plus tourism. So, and there's always something to do. There's a lot of festivals and a lot of things happening. So here are some of the movies, as you can see: Harry Potter, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Inception, Avatar. They got the Oscar for Avatar for special effects, and also I think for Gravity or Interstellar, like for one of those, both space movies, basically. They got an Oscar for that as well. And so that means the university has very good connections in that kind of field. So if you're seeing yourself in, I don't know, photography, film, animation, anything creative, I would recommend. But if you're interested in psychology or business or, as I said, tourism, this is also an amazing university. Yes, and here are a couple of pictures of the city. As you can see, it's very peaceful, but you kind of do have the city vibe. This is also not far from Bournemouth, and you've probably seen this in a lot of movies, this kind of location. Okay, so Denmark. Denmark has no tuition fee for European students. It means it's completely free of charge. The application deadline is 15th of March, so this is in like, what is it, 16 days, 15? Intake is twice a year, so the 15th March means if you want to start in September, and majority of courses actually start in September, and then not that many in December, January. Online application process, quite easy. We usually do it for our students, but they can be there and they see what we do. And there are the course durations. I will explain in the next slide how it works, because their system is a tiny bit different. Work placement will be part of your studies, and you can get free Danish lessons if you want to. But I would recommend getting them, because you cannot get as many jobs to support yourself if you don't know Danish in Denmark. So the way higher education works in Denmark, there's two kind of paths. One is the classical, you do just bachelor, 3.5 years, and that's it, and you have a bachelor. The other way, the more popular way in Denmark, is you do an AP degree, which is 2 years, and that will also have work experience in it. And after that, you can either already go and have a proper job, or you can do a bachelor top-up. And with the bachelor top-up, you'll have your full bachelor's. And this also gives you opportunity to go to other countries that offer bachelor top-up courses. For example, Netherlands, Scandinavia, sorry, Sweden, UK, Poland. I mean, a lot of countries offer that. But that also gives you a chance to kind of mix up your, let's say, what you're studying. So if you're doing AP degree in like communication management, then your bachelor top-up could be in business management. Basically, you'll need to have some similar modules to do a bachelor top-up, which is a bit different. But this AP degree and bachelor top-up is actually a lot better than just doing bachelor, because if you're not happy with what you're studying, you have more options to kind of change it, so you're not actually wasting time. Plus, if you do just the straight AP degree plus bachelor top-up, it's also more hands-on, so you'll actually graduate with more experience than if you do just a bachelor. So here are some courses that are popular in Denmark. So as I said, you can't actually study everything. So if you want to do medicine or law, you're not going to do it, basically. So yeah, courses like IT, multimedia design, international sales and marketing, service, hospitality, tourism. So basically everything that their economy and government and country needs. There is a scholarship. You will need to actually work to get the scholarship. You will need 43 hours per month. And it cannot this is the amount of hours that you need to have. You can apply for the scholarship after 3 months of working and having like 43 hours. If at any point like the hours go down, then you will not be able to get the money and you have to reapply again. And you will get around 800 euros per month. And I mean, it seems like a very big amount of money right now, but I would like to remind you that the prices are a lot higher there. So, but you will be getting some salary. But also this has to be a legal job, and the problem is that there are not as many jobs for Danish speakers. There are, but a lot of them are not in coffee shops or like restaurants. It would be in a warehouse or somewhere, so you also need to be ready for that. And here's a quick example of a university there. It's called IBA, International Business Academy. It's quite an old one. They have existed for more than 100 years. And you can study business, marketing, finance management, entrepreneurship, and design there. And the best thing is that their programs are accredited by London South Bank University and Coventry University. So those names will also be on your diploma. So now we're going to talk about Netherlands a little bit. So the application process, kind of the deadline, is from May to August. Usually that kind of depends if you want to hold a residence or not, because if yes, well, usually then it's May. If no, then it can be even August, the deadline. It's an online application again. Usually for bachelor, it's online everywhere. The documents that you'll need are grade reports, and you need to have the same amount of math and English as Danish students have. And for some courses, they specify a little bit that also you need some other subjects, the same amount of hours. Personal statement, reference letter, and a language test. In Netherlands and Denmark, you always need a language test. They will not accept your maturas. The tuition fee is 2,006 euros per year, and there are different options how to pay it. I will also explain. The study duration is 4 years, and practice, you'll have like an internship / work about from 5 to 10 months, and that is part of the 4-year study duration. So the living costs, just to give you an overview, are kind of not that big. It's 800 euros to 1,200, including living costs, so that's already good. On average, a room costs around 300 euros to 650 per month, with bills included. And yeah, a cup of tea, coffee is about euros 10. Cheese sandwich is 3.20. And yeah, and you can find different brands at different supermarkets. So there's ways to eat cheaper. And I will tell you this, that doesn't matter where you move. The first about, I would say, 2 months will be a bit more difficult because you will spend more money because you will not know where what kind of shops are and where to buy what. But luckily, you will learn. So some of the programs that you can study are international business, tourism management, media entertainment, jazz, and physiotherapy, the last one, which is here. This is usually the most expensive one. So if all of these would cost 2006, this would be like 1,000 euros more expensive. And that is basically how it always is. Anyone who's interested in masters, the deadlines are, well, pretty much the same. And in England, also the same. The thing is, masters is a bit more like open application, so it means you can be a bit late, a bit earlier. So Fontys University, it's one of the biggest in Netherlands, and they have 3 campuses: one in Venlo, Eindhoven, and Tilburg. Venlo is actually next to Germany, so a lot of students, they live in Germany and they just cycle to Venlo. And some of the subjects that you can study at bachelor's level, you can do also masters there as well. And they have a lot more bachelors than you see on the slide. But these were so far the most popular ones in terms of our students. But this one, food and flower management, this is, let's say, unique to Netherlands because, as you know, tulips come from Netherlands, and cheese and bacon, also a lot of it comes from Netherlands. And as you can see, all the like prices and amount, like how long the studies are the same as in the previous slides. And so yeah, application is also really easy. Honestly, all the students who have applied with us have gotten in. It's just they only need to get in touch with us to start their application. So yeah, here's Eindhoven to give you an idea where the kind of university is, and we organized a trip there for open days at Fontys. It went really well. The facilities were amazing. If we will be organizing next one, I think it will be like in October. I recommend everyone to join. Venlo, as you can see, lovely city, and also Tilburg. So yeah, they're smaller cities than obviously Amsterdam, but I don't know if everyone here heard it, but Dutch people don't actually consider Amsterdam to be Dutch because, well, it's very kind of multicultural. Not that it's just very not as Dutch. They have more kind of entertainment there to attract tourists rather than to represent the Dutch culture. So yes, basically, why should you even consider getting in touch with us? It's because with us, you have 100% chance of getting in to the university, to the course, because as I said, we do cooperate with quite a few universities, and that means because I have contact people there, I can like basically any problems you might have, any like maybe you had some grade issues or like you didn't do one of your exams and now it's a 0. I can sort it out for you. Like I would explain to the university, and usually if they actually know the situation, they are a lot more flexible. And we will find the course that you want. So, you might have some interest and we will find the courses exactly that will interest you. It's a stress-free application process with us because we will be like the middleman. So any problems that happen, we will be the ones dealing with them, and you will only get, like, let's say, the results, the report of what happened, how we dealt with it, and everything's fine now. We do pretty much everything for you. So we do the application, we do check everything for you. If you have any questions, we usually find answers for you, so you don't have to worry about anything. And yeah, we have more than 10 years of experience. So far, we've had only happy customers, happy people, happy students. Because, you know, if we were communicating, if everyone was answering their emails, then everyone got the information and everyone got in, and so far no complaints, and let's not have any. So here are contact details. So you can find us on Facebook, you can email us, you can have a free Skype consultation with us, or you can visit our website to read about us a little bit more. I would like to mention that the website is currently being redesigned. So the website that you will see is the old one, which has a lot of, let's say, maybe mistakes, or there are things that need to be changed. So we're currently working on that, and quite soon we will have a better one. But yes, so please send us email with any kind of I don't know, questions, or if you want to book an appointment for a free consultation, and then we could, you know, discuss everything. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it here. Actually, no, I will have to do it like this. But thank you for watching. I hope you did get your answers, and I do hope to hear from you very, very soon. So everyone have a nice evening. Bye-bye.